Hello, everyone, and welcome to Team Ningen Gaming. We're here. We envision a world where the vast majority of people can put a face and a name to the products they buy, feel an emotional connection to the things that they own, and realize the amazing impact they have on lives around the world. Today, you're gonna get to learn about us. Cool. Wow. Yeah. Just don't go with me on this whole. You gotta dab. You gotta dab, Faith. No, okay, that's all right. No,
that's not my thing.
Yeah. So anyway, no, we're just. So I believe that it was important that we actually got to speak to everybody, so that everybody can learn who we are, why we do what we do. That's kind of an important factor in all of this. It's kind of why I started doing all of this in the first place, is getting to know the people behind the things that we consume, the things that we play, the things that we buy, and I think it's kind of important. So let me go ahead and move this real quick so I stop looking down and away, but instead look up at the stream. There we go. So I'm gonna move this a little bit. Cool. All right, I think I'm good. And let's see. And meanwhile, we're also going to try and pull it up over here because I'm never prepared for anything. And if that is if that's nothing more. Whoa, wait, look. Okay, cool. Yeah, we are live. There we go. Yeah, baby. Okay, perfect. So, anyway, first off, Faith.
Yeah.
Tell the world about yourself.
Well, like where I'm from.
Yeah.
From Cookeville, Tennessee. Ever since I was little, I've always been interested in video games. The first game I ever played was Super Mario Brothers on NES, and Duck Hunt. And that immediately got me hooked, and from then on I've just been playing whatever games I can ever since I was a kid, so
yeah.
So
Cool.
not really a whole lot.
Not a whole lot going on?
No, not a whole lot.
That's alright. Sometimes it's a little better. I like to think that it's better to just have a chill life. I've never had that. Growing up, my family, like my life, right? Like, oh gosh, this is a mess. So Faith is was a coworker of mine over at GameStop. That's where I met her initially. She's just a friend of mine. She has a boyfriend. His name's Parker. He's went to the room. He's not coming by anymore.
I can tell him if he wants to introduce himself. He can come out.
Yeah. Tell him he can become famous, meet the world. I don't think Parker's ever seen the world before, so that's gonna be quite the experience for him. No, we're just a bunch of goofy people. Right now, I am renting out a couple of rooms to Faith and Parker. They're a couple of cool dudes. And Faith agreed to help me out with the live stream and show up here from time to time, which is pretty cool. Right now, we're actually going to be for the first time, I'm probably going to be doing a stream by myself, which kind of sucks, but that's going to be coming up Wednesday. That'll be really cool. We got some cool people coming on, so it just kind of sucks that I'm not going to have somebody with me, because that's what I love, is people, being around people. So that's interesting. 1 second.
He'll be out in a bit.
Oh, gotcha. One of those things.
Yep.
So anyway, but yeah, they're super cool people, Faith and Parker. They're good friends. They we play board games together and hang out. Mm-hmm. I tried to get Daniel to show up on here, actually. Daniel's another person that works with us over at the GameStop. Super cool dude. Love him to death. Too bad he's not with us today. Hi, Daniel, if you're watching. We'll see you next time. Anyway, if you want to know about me, I kind of grew up in Florida. Had a lot of not great family experiences down there, or friendship experiences. Let's just say I've had a lot of really hard times when it comes to relating to others, getting close to others, I never really had close friends. I never had that bonding that's kind of important between people, and getting to know like where you fit in the world. And I was always just really awkward with people in the first place, so it never really helped out in the first, very much. Just always play video games, video game club.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that was the same way for me, too. Like, I got bullied a lot in school, so I didn't really have any friends growing up until I got into high school.
Yeah.
Didn't have a whole lot, so.
Yeah. Sucks. But for the most part, anyway, I went all over the place figuring out things to do in my life, things that I wanted to do. Couldn't figure it out for the life of me, honestly. Just what is fulfilling? Like, what is fulfillment in the first place? Like, what makes me happy? What can I do that's going to be something greater than myself? And really, it took me way too long to figure that out. I'm 30 now, and I'd say about a year ago now is when I found what I call my why. I believe that I was put on this planet to empower great people to do extraordinary things, so that together we can change our world for the better. And I came about that after, of course, watching a whole bunch of Simon Sinek, a bunch of really great inspirational speakers, and it all around that time, really, it was probably what pushed me the most was seeing terrible leadership in my life. And everywhere I went, terrible leadership hurt me in many ways. Like, I was kicked out of school because of terrible leadership, people that just didn't care about the individual. I was just an awkward kid, and I just needed someone to listen to me, and nobody cared enough to just sit down and talk to me and see, what they can do to help. What they can do to get me to feel more a part of the group, something, anything. And one day I started learning about leadership, and finally I realized all the things that I thought were right, connecting with others, building relationships, saying how your teammates are doing, looking out for the person to the left of you and the person to the right of you, all those things were the right things, not the whole, beat down on people and make them do their job, and you either conform or you aren't a part of us. You are, what your thoughts don't matter. That's not right. That's the complete opposite of how people grew to, become the creatures we are today. Back in the Paleolithic era, where we were nothing but hunter-gatherer tribes. Everybody knew what everybody else did. We all had a role to play. We all had, we knew that Jim went out to the forest to hunt for boar or whatever he can find, and Susan would forage goods. Somebody else would cook. Somebody made the tools that I used for the job that I had, and that's where the idea of Team Ningen comes in the first place. That's where our vision comes from, is that there's something that is lost when everything becomes there's so much scale, right? Like, when there's so many people, normally there'd be, way back in the Paleolithic era, there wouldn't be more than 100 people or so in a tribe. Everybody knew who everyone was. And when there's all that anonymity, you don't know who made the couch that you're sitting on. You don't know who made the clothes that you wear, or pretty much anything in life. You don't know your local butcher. I think people lose touch of what can be fulfillment. They lose touch with everything. They don't have good relationships. They don't see that you gain fulfillment in life from how you assist and help others. How you contribute to the world around you. And so that's why Team Ningen, at Team Ningen Gaming specifically, we unite gamers with small developers so that together we can do big things, and be a little closer for it. It's just my way of trying to make such a huge world, a huge and anonymous world, be a little closer and a little, I don't know, little more special. And that's the whole idea. It's the movement I am trying to make and start, basically. Just getting everybody to know the person that makes the games that you play. And I've said it a few times. I've mentioned I'm so glad that Kyle was one of our first live streams, because I was so super nervous and unable to like concentrate, and I didn't have everything written down. I wasn't prepared, and he like he kind of like led the whole thing on his own, because he's so used to live streaming. Super cool guy. And ever since then, we've had nothing but amazing people on the show. I mean, everything that I was hoping for from the live stream, you know, the YouTube channel, it's been happening. You know, we've been meeting amazing people that love video games, but they love it for the main reasons that, you know, we love doing whatever it is we love doing, right? Helping other people, creating something that other people enjoy. You know, it's a part of who you are. It's what fulfills you, you know? And just seeing the amazing relationships, they're all amazing people. I just love it, right? I remember everybody's name. I was just, you know, there's stories to be told all over the place. And I think that it's really, really cool. Sorry, I've been talking too much. Anyway, so Faith, I wanted to ask you. We already said the first game you played. The one game I know the answer to this. I think I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. The one game that you have the most deep emotional connection to.
Deep emotional connection. You're probably correct. It's Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's a game that I remember whenever I was younger. I went to a summer camp kind of thing when I was younger, and someone had donated a PlayStation 2 for you know, everyone to play on, that kind of thing. And there was a friend of mine that I had when I was younger. He used to bring in like some of his games from home that he could, you know, play on it as well. And, you know, one of those games was specifically Kingdom Hearts 2. And I remember seeing it was the boss fight where it's close to the end. It's not like the final boss fight with Xemnas, but it's the one where you're flying around and he's in like this giant flying like dragon mech. And I don't know, I just seeing that and just the art style and the music especially, it like stood out to me when I was a kid, and it stuck with me ever since. And I didn't get to play any of the other games until I got older, and I kind of had that rekindling of and remembering what it was I loved about the game so much. So that would be mine. So
yeah,
no, just I could talk forever about Kingdom Hearts. It definitely is one of my. It's definitely one of the games I emotionally connect with.
Right.
On such a great scale.
We got Hunter. Hunter asked, which Kingdom Heart? The first?
The first one I remember ever like really kind of playing. I didn't get to play it a whole lot. Was Kingdom Hearts 2. Which it still is like one of my favorite ones, even after now playing all the other ones. 2 still really sticks out to me. Just because of the combat style that they had in the game, the drive forms I really loved, the music, the story. Yeah, I mean, the second one after that would probably be. Oh gosh, it's a tie between either the first Kingdom Hearts or Birth by Sleep. I can't. Those two is always a really hard one for me to choose between, because Birth by Sleep had a great story, and then Kingdom Hearts, of course, it's, you know, where it started. I don't know. It's just a toss up between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, that's why I laughed earlier, because what he said.
I don't know. Like, and then least favorite wise, my boyfriend gives me crap about it, but it's Chain of Memories. It's a great story still because it expands more on the Kingdom Hearts universe, but the card system, I can't. I just don't think it fits with Kingdom Hearts. But I just personally, for me, I beat all the way up till you start Riku's story. I beat all the way through Sora's, and I beat Marluxia, but just didn't do it for me. So.
Right. Yeah. Too funny. So for me, how about me? Let me see. So, I mean, you've heard it before. I've told you.
Yeah.
my favorite game of all time is Nier Automata, and the reason why is, well, I mean, besides it being an amazing game, obviously, right? Every single style of game put together, and the amazing soundtrack, and the beautiful artwork, and the amazing backstory of the whole world, phenomenal. Everything about what it is. Truly, in the end, though, it's because when you play the story, right, they have the first time that you play through, you know, it paints a pretty picture. The second time, you know, it actually goes in depth with a lot of, you know, it's basically like looking at a picture versus reading a philosophy book. And then after that, the rest of the story is a tragedy, right? The other half of the story you play after those two times, and you realize just what's going on in the world around. And it's such a not a contrast, it's a story of basically, and you know, it's all robots and you know, androids, but of lost people, right? People that are just trying to find fulfillment in their lives, and every time, everywhere they go, everywhere they look, it's, you know, it ends in tragedy, and it's none of them have like this true, strong, like vision of the future that they can like fight for or anything. They don't have anyone to lead them. They don't have any guidance. They don't have anything, and it all ends in misery. But and the game's been out forever, so I'm not too worried about it. It's a special ending anyway. You have to beat the game like several times to get it. But there's a
so like 7. Is it 7 endings, or is it?
There is through ending E.
I thought that was up till G.
It's through E. It goes over the entire alphabet, but all the other ones are like silly endings or like just short.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to get. Yeah, E is the true ending, and like one of the things that it asks you at the end is like, are you sure you want to, you know, save them? Like, it could end the same exact way as it did before. Like, even if they go through this suffering all over again, like, is it really worth it? Yeah. And the answer is yes, every time, because even if it's just a chance for something better, right? A better future, then we should fight for it, you know? And that like strikes me in my heart every time, just thinking that. And it's something beautiful.
A couple of other comments. Was that one the one on Game Boy Advance I got to play? Yeah, so Chain of Memories, it did start out on Game Boy, and then they made a, like, kind of like a small remaster for PlayStation 2, which is the one I played it on originally. And then they remastered it again for PS3 and PS4 for 1.5 Remix. And then Nier has a great story on it. Like the ending where a dog is controlling everything.
I don't remember that one, but I believe it. No, I did. That is the one game I have 100% completed on PC, and it was worth it to me. That's something special, because like I don't usually put that much time into a game unless it's a multiplayer game that I'm playing with friends or something. I don't know of any other game I've put that much time into that was single player.
Persona 5.
Yeah, that's the only other one. Well, that's another one that connects very deeply with me, right? It's exactly the kind of stuff that I talk about all the time.
Yep.
You know, connections with others, you know, good leadership, you know, all that stuff. Changing people's hearts, probably not quite the same. You know, it's a very strange
Not quite.
thing. But, you know...
I don't think we have a mementos to deal with.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
But you know, it strikes home for me because of all the bad leadership and stuff that I've gone through in my life. And I do believe that there is a better way. I do believe in a better future where we could have better leaders, right? But, you know, there's only so much you can do, and I'm doing it as best I can right now. Anyway, yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Like, leadership is something strange altogether. Like, I mentioned to Faith here earlier, like, I've messed up. Like, I don't ask her enough her opinion on things, right? And showing that I do value her opinions and I do value her thoughts. You know, she is, you know, somebody who's helping me out with this, and, you know, I know that she'll appreciate what we do more if I ask, you know, and I don't do that. I just, like, I'm going in my own head. I'm like over here doing this and then over here doing that, and I just totally forget I have somebody else, another human being here that's trying to help out. But then there's times where I realize, you know, there are some things that I do very well. Like, it's such a toss-up because we're all people, you know. There's sometimes that you do things very well, and there's sometimes you don't do them well, and you have to, like, always be willing to better yourself and be humbled at the fact that you're not the greatest, and you realize that there's so much to learn. The other day I was proud of myself just because I was super tired after, you know, hanging out with Taylor and I think Kayla was her name. Yeah, Kayla and Kyle and Devin from Princess Castle Quest. And I was so exhausted at the end, but he sent a message, and I was like half asleep almost. He said something about, yeah, we can send you another code if, you know, you need it to give away for, like, as a freebie on your channel or something like that. And I'm just like, instantly, I'm like, yeah, no, we don't do anything like that. But that's okay, thank you very much. You know, I appreciate it. Like, I instantly knew, because I'm like, no, this isn't, you know, that's not something that would really, like, promote what we believe in. And I was like, yeah, because I'm starting a movement, right? And you don't start a movement by talking to the masses. You talk to the people who believe what you believe, right? And, like, if I had, like, some kind of giveaway, then just attract a whole bunch of people that don't really care about what we do. And I was like, wow, that's good. I'm glad I did that. You know, that for me that was a special moment. But yeah, it's interesting. Tell me, Faith, because, like, I talk way too much. I talk way too much. What about the story of Kingdom Hearts really connects with you?
Well, to start off with, it has a very, very complex storyline. So my mistake that I made when I first started, like, getting back into the games once I got older, I found Kingdom Hearts 2. I bought it and I played it. So starting out, you don't start playing as Sora, you start playing as this kid named Roxas. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay. And you, like, do, like, your basic daily tasks and everything like that. And I'm just kind of like, I don't remember this being this way. And then all of a sudden, whenever the glitches start coming in, like, on the screen and everything like that, showing, like, what's really happening between Diz and Ansem, that was just like, okay, this seems a little more correct. And once he reunites with Sora, then it shows, like, that the title. I was just like, okay, this makes more sense. But the story of it, it's, I don't know, it's just this kid, or these three kids, Sora, Riku, and Kairi, living on an island together, and just out of nowhere, like, there's darkness, and they were wanting to try to, like, literally before their island was swept away, was wanting to go out and explore and see what was out there besides Destiny Islands, and that just gets turned into shambles once Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, becomes involved. And it's just the story of having these warriors of light and warriors of darkness. I find very interesting. Because it's like two sides of a coin. And I'm the kind of person who likes to take things in as a neutral. And just seeing those two different perspectives of like why this side believes this should be the only thing, or why light, the dark, the warriors of light need, see that way. I just really like how they incorporated that into what was supposed to be a kid's game. The story's way deeper. It's deeper than it probably needs to be for a kid's game. Because, you've got your Disney characters, and of course you have your Square Enix or Final Fantasy characters, and, eventually later on World Ends with you. But just, it's mainly the art style is what kind of drew me in, and that and the music. The music I've always thought is very, very pretty. But, yeah.
Nice.
It's what really drew me in was, the character building and the world building as well for the main story was the other thing. So
everything about the game.
Pretty,
I'm sorry.
I mean, like, there's nothing, like I said, there's not really anything I dislike per se about Kingdom Hearts, like, except for, like I said, the battle system for Chain of Memories, didn't really like it. But of course, like, yeah, they have like dumb things in the story, but I think at that point, as convoluted as it is, there's gonna be dumb things in the story. So, I mean,
right,
doesn't really bother me a whole lot. The game tried to show you how there needed to be balance in life, not only light or darkness alone. Yeah, it's that too as well for me. Yeah, I agree with that as well. So,
cool. Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. There's always something so unique about stories. There's always some kind of theme in there, whether you realize it or not. And some of them are pretty well hidden. And some of them are super obvious, but you wouldn't think they're obvious.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I wanted to say this. I want to say this. I want to throw it out there on live stream just because I love thinking about these kinds of things. And I think you're going to appreciate it too, because you love The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, look at that giant smile. So here's my belief, right? I believe that The Nightmare Before Christmas is really, Tim Burton's way of showing how he views the world, right? His story. So if you technically you think about it, Tim Burton sees a lot of really the darker side of things as very beautiful. And and he wants to share that beauty with the world, right? And he tries to do that, but it doesn't always quite go the way that he expects. And right, sometimes it's not always well received, and that's probably, I think, why he thought of the story in the first place. Because if you think about it, Jack Skellington, he's in the opposite realm, right? He's in a world of nothing but like these dark, grimy things, and then he sees a world like Christmas land, right?
Yeah.
Something so beautiful and bright and pretty, and he wanted to share that beauty with the rest of his world, and nobody quite understood it. And
Sally was also that balance for him as well. Like, she was really the only one in not Christmas Town, but in Halloween Town that really listened and was trying to understand where he was coming from, even though she still didn't fully agree with it. Yeah, or fully understand it. She still was like she was there for him. Yes, basically, yeah. She was there to pick up the pieces. Yeah,
like that's such a good story. I really love that, and you can see the artist behind the action. The story, whatever. Words. I get emotional. It's really, really cool.
It's another thing for like Corpse Bride as well, Corpse Bride, where Victor meets Emily, and she comes back from the dead as an undead bride, and getting introduced to the world of the undead for him, and him eventually falling in love with it. That was another thing I've always thought that was beautiful. It's my second favorite Tim Burton like animated film. So.
Two claymations. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. the weirder side of things, claymations. I know so many people that are terrified of claymation.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's still some claymations that do like creep me out, but there's something in the way in Tim Burton stories is just it's very pretty to me. So.
They do. Ha! I said do. Anyway, good old Vanellope. Von Schweetz. That's her name.
Yep.
Vanellope von Schweetz. Yeah, they do claymation stop action films very well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's something like I remember. I think the first, if you think about it, what was it? Have you ever seen the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad?
No.
It's like the first one I think I've ever seen that was a claymation. That had claymation, I should say.
It sounds familiar.
It is referenced all over the place. If you ever watch TV shows or movies, if you've watched some Gravity Falls, have you watched all of it?
No, only some of it.
They reference it quite a bit with the claymation skeletons and the claymation Cyclops. That's a common reappearance, is the Cyclops, the giant Cyclops in cartoons and stuff. You know, I'm thinking about it now. All the people that are my age are now making the cartoons that I watch today. So
yeah,
no wonder I think cartoons are better today.
See, Nightmare Before Christmas is one of the best movies from my childhood. I have a friend that watches that movie every year. I try to as well. So
it's worth it, and you can watch it twice a year too, or as many times as you want, I guess technically. But you can keep it to just a couple. Don't want it going bad. Anyway, geez, I think how long have we been streaming it? Half an hour? Yeah, a little over half an hour.
Yeah.
Let's see, a couple more questions so we can.
I will say though, another game that did stick out to me, I kind of had an emotional connection with as well, was Okami, which was.
Okay, right.
Yeah, she, one of the developers from Princess Castle Quest mentioned it, and I, remember that Okami was another one just because of the story and the art style and the music they did have with the game as well. Yeah. So that was another one, Okami.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, we don't really have too much more to say. Like, I figured it was going to be a short one today. Like, I just wanted to be like, hey, this is what we believe, this is why we believe it, and kind of introduce ourselves as well. Mm-hmm. Faith, anything you want to add?
Don't think so. Okay. So.
All right. Hunter, you're our only audience member that's talking. Do you have anything you wanted to ask us? I think it's like a 20-second delay, so. What was the first platform that you played games on? For me, I actually, the first thing I think I really played games on, I barely remember it. I just remember it a little bit. But my dad had like an old computer and had like those giant floppy disks, actual floppy disks, and that's how we loaded them up. And there was some strange, we were in Japan at the time, and I remember this really old computer, and I remember playing some strange Japanese game dealing with math. And these little like chips, like computer chips, and you had to do strange things. Anyway, I remember there was a Batman game too, and several other things. So that would technically, computer was my first.
For me, of course, like I said earlier, it was technically the NES console, Nintendo Entertainment System, but mostly either PlayStation 2 or Nintendo 64. And on 64, I played a lot of Mario 64 and Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. I played those a lot when I was a kid, but mostly between the two is either 64 or PlayStation 2. Oh, that and Pokemon Stadium as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Those PC?
Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem!
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I love Duke Nukem too. Oh my god.
What a
It's
game.
such a great game.
I just remember like just how blocky it was, and
Yeah.
like all the like the guns, like the shrink gun and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You just shrink somebody and like just run over them. Just step on them. Good times. What a game.
Yeah, that was definitely one I remember from my childhood as well.
Anyway.
So.
Hunter, thanks for joining us, and everybody else that's watching in the future. It was really cool getting to do this. I have a show that I'll be doing Wednesday. I don't think you'll be able to join me. I don't know if you will.
This Wednesday?
Yeah. So if not, that's fine.
Maybe.
Really? Okay.
Still don't
If
know
you're
for
up
sure
to
yet.
it,
Yeah.
if you're up to it,
Okay.
then feel free to join us. We'll be introducing Rebel Rabbit. They're making a pretty cool game called Duel Onboard, and it looks like a pretty fun party game. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay awesome.
Maybe
What?
we'll get Parker to kind of pop in.
There it
here,
is.
Say hello at some point as well, because I don't think he's gonna make it. So
No, that's all right. Anyway, yeah, shout out to Parker over there. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.